Welcome, and thank you for your interest in learning more about Siskiyou Land Trust and our highly impactful landscape scale conservation work. Let's start with some information that will provide you with a sense of the unique place in which we're doing our conservation work. We're located in the far northern portion of California. We like to joke that we're 6 hours north of Northern California. We're fifth out of 58 counties in area at over 4 million acres, so we have a lot of space, but we're 45th out of 58 counties in population, so there are not many people. Our tribal population is 10%, which is among the highest per capita in the state, and 17% of our population is classified as in poverty. We have among the lowest of all 58 states in median income. Siskiyou County includes incredibly diverse landscapes, such as high desert, oak woodlands, open agricultural and rangelands, coniferous forests, mountain watersheds that are filled with salmon, river headwaters, and everything in between. And Siskiyou County is home to the beautiful Mount Shasta. A land trust is a nonprofit organization which owns legal interests in property in order to preserve it. The most common form of ownership is a conservation easement, although a land trust can also own property outright in fee title. A conservation easement is a voluntary legal agreement between landowners who want to protect their land forever and a land trust. It's a recorded, binding agreement that runs with the land. This agreement protects the land by permanently limiting some uses that would compromise the natural features of the property. It allows landowners to own, use, or sell their land and to leave it to their heirs, but future owners are always bound by the terms of the conservation easement. Each conservation easement is unique and is specifically designed to protect the conservation values of each property. An easement need not require public access, and the land trust or other easement holder is responsible for making sure that the terms of the easement are followed. Siskiyou Land Trust is unique in that we bring an unparalleled number of critical conservation elements to the table. We have a high quantity of conservation opportunities available, all of which are of incredible quality. They are affordable, and the timing is right to take advantage of these opportunities now. In addition, Siskiyou Land Trust has the relationships, passion, and focus on equity to really make our work be meaningful and effective. Siskiyou County consists of more than 4 million acres with a population of less than 43,000. This means that there are huge tracts of land which are unbroken by development. A significant portion of that land is owned by the U.S. Forest Service and the Bureau of Land Management, and this creates opportunities to leverage against that value. By protecting private lands that lie between and adjacent to public lands, we can create landscape-scale conservation impacts with comparatively small investments. There is also significantly more demand from landowners in Siskiyou County who want to conserve their property than we currently have the organizational capacity to handle. Not only does Siskiyou County have a significant number of properties which are ripe for permanent protection, through strategic selection of our conservation projects, we are able to create quality landscape scale impacts across a number of critical areas. These include wildlife connectivity, plant and animal biodiversity, water quality and supply, climate resiliency, working lands, and social and environmental equity. Let's take a moment to look at each of these in turn. Landscape scale conservation has a direct impact on wildlife connectivity in that it preserves wildlife migration corridors. Siskiyou County is home to many migratory species, including elk and deer, which often summer in the forest and calve and winter on privately owned ranch lands. Salmon migrate through Siskiyou County rivers on their journey from the ocean to their spawning grounds. Wildlife migration corridors are also used by an expanding number of wolf packs. and many species of birds, including sandhill cranes. From a biodiversity standpoint, the variety of plant and animal species in Siskiyou County is astounding. It contains the Miracle Mile. This is 1 square mile of forest which has 18 different species of conifers. This is more conifer diversity than any other place in the world. Siskiyou County is also the home to many rare and endangered plant species, including the Wairika phlox. Siskiyou Land Trust recently closed 2 conservation transactions protecting the habitat of the Wairika phlox forever. We're also the home of all 3 keystone species, beavers, salmon, and wolves, which, when found together, indicate the presence of a healthy, balanced environment. From the perspective of water resources, Siskiyou County contains the Sacramento and McCloud River headwaters and the Shasta, Scott, and Salmon watersheds, which all feed the Klamath River. Eastern Siskiyou County includes the Butte Valley Terminal Basin with Tule Lake and Little Klamath Lake. The Klamath Dam Removal Project is also taking place in Siskiyou County. This is the largest dam removal effort in the country to date. It's a key part of the restoration of the salmon population, which is so important not only environmentally, but also culturally for our tribal communities. The healthy tributary habitats represented by Siskiyou Land Trust holdings are a critical part of the larger salmon restoration effort. Siskiyou Land Trust's conservation work also promotes climate resiliency as we bring healthy fire back to our landscapes and encourage beaver populations, which have a direct effect on the creation of fire-resilient landscapes. Our conservation work also supports climate resiliency through carbon sequestration. 1 acre of forest and rangeland provides approximately 2 to 5 metric tons of carbon sequestration per year. We have 37,000 acres currently protected, which equates to more than 75,000 metric tons per year of carbon sequestered. Our conservation of working agricultural and ranch lands results in large open undeveloped spaces. These are the key for wildlife migration, food production, and view preservation. They're also critical for preserving a rural way of life. Finally, we achieve social and environmental equity through preservation of working and natural landscapes. So what does equity mean in this context? Siskiyou Land Trust is a bridge between interest groups. We preserve resources for all beneficial uses. We're a neutral, equitable conservation organization. We never take a side in a county with diverse interest groups, which includes tribes, ranchers, farmers, fishermen, hunters, foresters, and recreation seekers. We work for the mutual benefit of all. The statistics are difficult to compare since each land conservation organization has a different mix of conservation easements and fee title interests, which have widely differing costs. But even giving ourselves a wide margin of error, it's clear that conservation in Siskiyou County gives an incredible bang for the buck. Using Bay Area land conservation organizations as a comparison, we can conserve 8 to 10 times as much land for the same cost. For their 100,000 acres, we could conserve 1 million. The development pressure in Siskiyou County is only increasing. We have become an affordable alternative to the Lake Tahoe area for recreation and vacation home ownership, and are experiencing housing pressure from remote workers who recognize that Siskiyou County homes are comparatively affordable. Additionally, Siskiyou County faces generational risk as aging ranch and agricultural families are land-rich and cash poor, so they can't afford both to retire and hold on to their lands. When faced with the fact that the next generation wants a different lifestyle, or that leaving the land to 3, 4, or 5 siblings would make it difficult to run the business, the pressure to sell and subdivide the large open spaces mounts. We know that when even one parcel is lost to development, the conservation values of all are deeply impacted. There are also many smaller rural parcels, but still hundreds of acres in size, coming onto the market, which are right in the path of development and have already been parcelized. These are at very high risk for development. Siskiyou Land Trust is not anti-growth. We simply want to make sure that development is carefully planned and strategic so that land with high conservation values is protected. The time for this conservation work in Siskiyou County is now. These opportunities are at risk and will not be here in the years to come. In the words of Jonathan Birdsong of the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, Siskiyou County has the most to gain and the most to lose during this critical period. Siskiyou Land Trust is the right organization at the right time in the right place. We have a proven track record and significant forward momentum. We've had success in grant awards and are a preferred agency partner. We have professional leadership and a local presence. Siskiyou Land Trust is a homegrown conservation organization founded 30 years ago. We preserve forest, agricultural, and wild lands from development forever through the use of conservation easements, water easements, and fee title purchases. Through visionary leadership, we have moved from an all-volunteer, small-scale organization to a major player in Northern California conservation. Today, we have 37,000 acres under permanent protection, 25,000 acres in pending transactions, and 50,000 acres in the pipeline across 3 major watersheds. It's our goal to have over 100,000 acres permanently protected by 2030, and we believe that's only the beginning of what we can do. Siskiyou Land Trust has had incredible success in receiving grant awards across many agencies. These include Wildlife Conservation Board, the Sierra Nevada Conservancy, the Department of Conservation, CAL FIRE, Natural Resources Conservation Services, and the McConnell Foundation. Siskiyou Land Trust's Board of Directors is made up of skilled professionals from fields of real property and water rights law, strategic financial management, the natural sciences, ranching, farming, agricultural management, and interpersonal relations. We also have a highly accomplished, well-qualified staff with degrees in environmental science, ecology, wildlife biology, zoology, plant ecology, evolutionary biology, and experience in ranching and farming. It matters to local landowners and Siskiyou County government agencies that we're based in Siskiyou County, that they can come to our office, and that we are governed and staffed by local community members. It's also important to them that we are creating good-paying jobs for local talent and keeping them from moving out of the area. Conservation-minded landowners want to work with a local organization. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about Siskiyou Land Trust. We hope that you feel inspired to join us in our critical work to preserve our precious wildlands and open spaces. To learn more about how you can contribute to the preservation of our natural resources and landscapes through support of the Siskiyou Land Trust, please watch the Join Us video, which can be found on our website or sent to you via email, or reach out to us via telephone, email, or by dropping by our Mount Shasta office. Together, we really can make a major shift in the quality of life for all of us, whether we reside in Siskiyou County or beyond, and for the wildlife and plants with whom we share this planet. Help us step up to embrace the vast opportunities before us in the narrow window of time during which they are available.